Hi, this is Paul again, and I've got a new video to show you, and I'm calling this video the importance of the ICOSA in DNA. In my last video, I showed how important quad-step rings were in producing accurate 3D DNA geometry. But the rings don't tell you everything, but you need size 1 ICOSAs and dodecas in the rungs for the DNA. Okay, first we take a look at this Cyan Helix of the A-type DNA. I show 5 rings of quad-step balls, and I show a size 6 dodeca. Now if you look, you can see that he starts on a cyan ball, then he goes to a red ball, which is 37.5 degrees, then he goes from a red to a red, 30 degrees, red to a red, 30 degrees, and it ends up red to a yellow, 37.5. Now these 4 angles added up together brings a total of 135 degrees. Okay, I am showing how we can produce the helix, but we cannot see how the rung formation is going. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to keep this exact same geometry, and I'm going to make a transition to show you what's happening inside with the rungs and stuff. Now you can see that we have size 1 dodecas containing size 1 ICOSAs. I call these ICOSITAs. Now if you look at this, I have 2 size 1 dodecas fitting perfectly between the Yucatan rings of the dodeca. Now I explain about the Yucatans in my videos many times. Now you can also get 6 size 1 dodecas between the top and bottom vertices of the size 6 dodeca. Okay, if you study this stuff, I'm also showing another string, a second string of size 1 dodecas, and they are going from center to center of the original string of dodecas, size 1 dodecas. Now this is the only way for making the rungs half the height. And this goes from 40.66 actual rise, and now we're bringing it down to 20.33 by doing it this method. Now all my work is in millimeters, and it's 10 times what they show in the book, and they show something in Angstroms. Now the book shows A-type DNA having a diameter of 23 angstroms and an actual rise of 2.6. Now I am showing a diameter of 230, and I'm showing an axial rise of 20.33. Now the academics are showing measurements of something a billion times smaller. Now I'm showing measurements from sacred geometry, and this is a hell of a lot more accurate. But I guess the scholars never bother to look at sacred geometry, and it's not taught in schools. I don't know why. Okay, now I'm going to show this setup a lot simpler and rotate it around, and you can see how it all goes together. Now what you are looking at is a red rung rotating around to a green rung twice. Now this is basically a juntos section, or you could call it a group of 4 rungs. Now these rungs are rotating the same as what I shown. 37.5, 230 degrees and another 37.5 degrees. Now if you look closely at this geometry, you can see that the rungs are coming from the vertices of the size 1 ICOSAs, or ICOSITAs I call them. Now I'm showing a 5th rung, and this is a red rung. I'm showing it on the top. Now this is used as the start of a new section or group. Now this group will go up 4 times at 2033, and then it will rotate 135 degrees. So by doing this, you could keep on repeating this process and you can get an A-type DNA running forever. I've put a little anim together and I'm showing this group copying and rotating 3 times in 3 steps. I'll show it going up first, and then I'm going to show it rotating, the whole lot rotating around for you to see how the A-type DNA looks. Now you can see as it's rotating around that the helix is following the cyan helix 180 degrees about. Now the yellow helix starts 2 rings up from where the cyan helix starts. Now this is what gives you the major and minor gaps. Now you can see that the sloping rung gives us this major and minor groove. Now this sloping rung is provided by 2 vertices, 2 opposite vertices of the ICOSA, and this is part of the geometric system called Platonic Order. Now I've shown that this order is based around the vectors, if they slope in doing whatever, but it comes from the vectors. It does not come from chaos. Now this is the way all the spirals that you find in nature or in the galaxies, it all comes from this vector system. It does not come from chaos. Anyways, I got something else to show you. Now if you look at the bottom rung is really a vector. Now this ICOSA, size 1 ICOSA, will daisy chain along the vector because the vertices are all arranged in this perfect assembly. I've shown this feature for many, many years. I called it strings of perfect order or super order. But I guess if students show any order, they probably failed the chaos exam. Now I'm only going to show this on one of the rungs. It can be done to all of the rungs, but one is enough. Now the size 1 ICOSA will provide a pentagon, which is shown in the DNA. And if you go to a size 3 ICOSA from there, it provides the hexagon, which is also found in DNA. Okay, I've got one more little job to do. I'm going to show you this 4-rung group in the top view. First I'm going to show you this without the quad step ring, and then I'm going to show it with the quad step ring, and you can see how everything goes. Okay, you can see how this A-type DNA geometry goes together. I've tried my best to make it easy to understand, but I think the 48 ball segments of 7.5 degrees makes it easy to work out the angles for the DNA. I was going to put the 3 types of DNA onto one video. Now I can see that the video will be too long, so I've decided to make this A-type DNA as part 1. So I'm going to call it a day now. So this is Paul saying thank you very much for watching my video.